Joseph Lapensée Essingone, a candidate in Gabon's presidential election on April 12, 2025, represents a new political alternative. Born in Lapensée in 1972, this senior tax official has a solid academic and professional background. A graduate in law and public finance, he built up his expertise in taxation in France before holding a number of strategic positions within the Gabonese administration. Multilingual and rigorous, he has a thorough grasp of the country's economic issues.
I think that what Gabonese people need today is for another political class to come in, for new faces to be seen, for people to behave differently, even if some of them, in order to survive, are still obliged to cannibalism with the same people who mistreated them yesterday. I understand their problem, and as far as I'm concerned, it's not the people who should be blamed, it's rather the politicians who aren't up to the job.
Determined to embody change, he is campaigning under the slogan "Le candidat de la rupture et du rassemblement," demonstrating his desire to break with the practice of the past while uniting the people of Gabon. He is critical of the corruption and bad governance that marked previous decades, promising fairer and more transparent management of national resources. His commitment is aimed at restoring public confidence and hope to a population in search of political renewal.
You are going to the West. It's not the people, it's the leaders who have to come up with real projects and put a real initiative in place. So support me. Anyone who really wants Gabon to change should get behind me, because here you have a candidate who knows how to change things.
Although not widely known by the general public, Essingone can count on the support of Gabonese who aspire to profound transformation of the country. Faced with established political figures, he represents a critical outsider with a discourse focused on social justice and economic recovery. Following internal consultation, the Gabonese Democratic Party (PDG), a major political grouping in Gabon, founded by the late Oligui Nguema in 1968, has announced its support for the candidacy of Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema for the presidential election on April 12, 2025. This crucial election will mark the end of the political transition that began on August 30, 2023, and the expected return to the constitutional order.
The Gabonese Democratic Party is firmly rooted throughout the country. In the image of the Gabonese, people who have voted in favor of the new constitution and its initiator, the Gabonese Democratic Party has chosen to support Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema.
Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema.
For the PDG, the endorsement of Oligui Nguema's candidacy is based on the result of the 19 months of transition marked by visible actions and fulfilled commitments. Among the notable advances, the PDG cites the development of infrastructure with modernization projects across the country, the improvement of social services, in particular access to essential services such as water and electricity, the development of human capital with measures to promote entrepreneurship and support young people.
Brice Clotaire is a candidate with whom the people identify and who has already achieved results. The PDG is therefore committed to the exercise of power in the interest of social progress and the full and balanced development of Gabon, and is in no way in competition with the associations and political forces standing behind the candidate. The PDG is committed to this unwavering popular dynamic and to the inclusive approach sought by the candidate.
The party urges all its members to give their unwavering support to Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema, a man of action who embodies the continuity of social progress and the integrated and balanced development of Gabon. The future of Gabon, according to the Gabonese Democratic Party (PDG), lies in the continuity of the project promoted by Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema, in the unity of the Gabonese people, and in a resolute commitment to a harmonious and inclusive development.
Gabon is preparing for the presidential election on April 12, 2025. The institutions in charge of organizing it are doing their utmost to ensure the success of this event, which is under the spotlight of national and international observers, in a context where access to reliable and verified information remains a major challenge for many households. At the time of the Liberation Coup, before the transition, the national audiovisual coverage rate, contrary to what one might have thought, was limited to only 22% of the population, leaving a large part of the population without access to information via radio and television. According to the Reporters Without Borders World Press Freedom Index 2024, Gabon ranked 56th. The authorities are stepping up investment to guarantee the right to information for all.
Dans la nouvelle constitution, on a inscrit l'accès à l'information. Aujourd'hui,
in Gabon today, access to information is a constitutional right. Article 14 states that the state guarantees citizens access to information. So we are all working to ensure that we finally have a law on access to information based on this constitutional law. And that obviously involves restructuring the Gabonese press agency, which in its role as an agent is responsible for sourcing information, checking it and making it available to the rest of the media.
De la vérifier et de la mettre à disposition du reste des médias.
By facilitating access to information and encouraging an independent press, Gabon's transition is part of a democratization process in which freedom of expression is seen as a fundamental lever for good governance.
With its 18,535 kilometers square and 76,900 inhabitants, representing 6.9% of Gabon's population, Moyen-Ogooué stands out for its natural and cultural wealth. A true sanctuary of biodiversity, the province offers magnificent landscapes thanks to its dense equatorial forests, winding rivers and peaceful lakes, a major asset for the promising development of ecotourism. The river Oligui, essential to local life, transport and fishing, flows through the province. History and culture are also pillars of Moyen-Ogooué, with its capital Lamban-Rene, famous for its rich intangible heritage derived from the diversity of its ethnic groups, and the Albert Schweitzer Hospital.
Moyen-Ogooué is the third province in the central of Gabon, where the equator crosses. It's called G3, and G3 is divided into two departments, the first of which is Bangamie, whose capital is Njoli. The second department is that of Ungwe, Elelac, whose capital is Longani. The provincial capital, commonly known as the town of Albert Schweitzer's Great White, to name but one.
The visual identity of Moyen-Ogooué is reflected in its emblem, which is divided into three distinct sections. One evokes the richness of its forest, another symbolizes the river Ogooué in an undulating blue line, and the last represents the region's three main lakes in three blue circles. Situated at the crossroads of the main road and river roads leading to the country's 8 other provinces, Moyen-Ogooué, which was once booming and is still booming today, is destined for great development.
It has to be said that the province of Moyen-Ogooué exploits timber, okume in general, and the other trades that are transported by road or river. There is also gold mining near Njoli, not forgetting palm oil. As a result, this province is brimming with significant economic assets.
However, the Moyen-Ogooué region faces major challenges that are holding back its development. The state of the infrastructure, particularly the road network, which is often run down and underdeveloped, hinders the movement of goods and people, limiting access to markets and basic services. Access to electricity and drinking water remains a major challenge, particularly in rural areas.